I saw you guys in recently that you came to for the presentation of Chasing Euphoria.
Oh, cool. Great.
So
That
how
was
it's
a fun
been
show.
how it's been the tour? You still touring with the album? Or?
No, no, it was brief. It was, I think we did 10 shows in 11 days. So it was pretty quick. We just ended up doing the European thing. I mean, our schedules are such that we're just kind of really busy outside of Harem Scarum too. I mean, I'm playing with a bunch of country bands. Harry's working with this music company and also mastering and also mixing, and so there's all kinds of stuff going on where our schedules are pretty busy. And to be honest, we want to get back and potentially start another Harem Scarum record in the fall. So we just kind of I've been playing all summer, and there's just no time. We talked about going to Asia. We talked about doing some stuff in Japan or the Philippines, but it just didn't go down this time.
Yeah. So how do you guys manage to record? Because you record everyone they part in the studio. You get together. How do you compose? Like how do you work?
No, usually it's Harry and I work individually. So we'll start writing individually. Both we're working in our own studios and just putting down our ideas. And then we bring them together and see what works, see what I've done that works with what he's done, and vice versa. All the songs are different. I mean, sometimes they'll start with a chorus idea that Harry has, or sometimes they'll start with a full musical idea for the whole song, and then we'll build around that. So it just depends. But like I said, we do most of our writing independently at first, and then we get together and try to sort it through it.
And apart from your work together and your tours, you are a band that used to hang out, live in the same place, or it's like.
Wow. Dude, that was a long time ago, man. Harem Scarum is very much, a project as opposed to a band. Though, I mean, we do have, three original members currently, and our bass player Mike's been with us for a few years now too. So, I mean, it's still a band when we're out there. You know what I mean? Like Harry and I are very, very into what we're doing on all the other fronts. So, and we're 56 years old. It's not like we're kids anymore. We're not going, hey, let's go to the bar and hang out. And, we're not doing that kind of stuff. And we all live kind of scattered around Southern Ontario too a bit.
Yeah, that was recently last week or 2 weeks ago. I was talking to Steve Rothery from Marillion, and I was
Oh,
asking.
wow. That's cool. I haven't heard that name in years. God, I love Steve.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a great player.
yeah, great, and the band is great. But he has been all his life in Marillion, like for 45 years. So I was asking him how it's been like working so many years in the same band, because like sometimes I don't know, it may feel like it's like at work in the office for you now, or with Karen or not.
You know what? I mean, music is never like The Office, really. I mean, it is. We're used to it. When I'm working on my own music personally, that's when I'm the happiest. So whatever it is, whether it's my solo stuff or Harem Scarum, or if I'm working on something that's focused on me, on my career, well, as an artist, I can't help it. It's like that's why I didn't start making music to play guitar on everybody's records or to produce people's stuff, which is all great. And I love that, but I'm never happier than when I am when we're making our own music. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. And I have you one of your CDs, Down on It. I think is the name. That is, I think it was the
oh,
first one,
wow, yeah.
which I like it very much. And but it's pretty like very rock oriented. Like, but you released. I heard that the last song you released in Spotify, like that's like country vibe. So
Yeah.
tell me about
Don't
it.
hold it against me. Don't hold it against me.
No,
The rockers aren't gonna like it. You know what I mean?
no.
It's not really made for the same market as Harem Scarum. You know what I mean? I'm a different person. I do all the things. I love the rock. I love the country. So it's not. I know a lot of Harem Scarum fans are gonna hear that and go, "That's got nothing to do with what I like about you." You know what I mean? So.
No, but I love it because I'm a musician. I play a lot of styles. I'm into rock,
Oh,
but I play a lot of things, and I love country. And actually, there's people. I remember one day I was watching some Keith Urban uh, videos playing guitar, and he played like so beautiful. And it was like, wow, this. And I like all these guys, but I was wanting to ask you like, which is your favorite styles? Are you a lot into country, or you're more rock? You know.
well, I mean, I'm very much into country. You know what? The funny thing is, I'm not really into. I don't know why my camera keeps moving. But can I turn that off? Does it matter? Okay. Yeah, I'm not. See, the funny thing is, I don't listen to music. Okay, I don't listen to any kind of music. So to say, am I more into country or into rock? I'm into playing guitar. I'm into making music. I'm into touring with friends. I'm into making records with people. I'm into doing it. You know what I mean? And so I'm not really affected by what's going on around me. I make music all the time and I love all of it. And the thing that makes me the very happiest is being able to do all of it. You know what I mean? If I was only making Harem Scare music, to be totally honest, I don't think I'd be happy right now.
Mhm.
And if I was only on the road with country artists or making country music or doing my own country music, I don't think I'd be happy right now, you know? But I do everything. I do all that stuff. I sing, I play guitar, I play dobro, I produce, I do it all. And that is honestly what brings me the most joy, is knowing that tomorrow I'm not going to be doing this again. I'm going to be doing something else. You know what I mean? So it keeps me interested. It keeps me entertained all the time, you know?
It's funny you mentioned this because I remember a long time ago I watched interview with Eddie Van Halen, and he said the same, that he didn't listen to music, and for many artists, especially guitarists that I have been interviewing, a lot of them said the same, that they don't listen to music. Like last one was Ingrid Malmsteen. He said that especially when he's working his albums, he doesn't want to get disturbed for music. And for me, also happened the same. But do you think it's because we musicians have been listening so much music when we started learning that after so many years, it gets to a point like, oh, I'm tired of listening to music.
Well, I mean, I think there could be many reasons for it. And I think everybody's different, you know? Like, I mean, I was a total music junkie when I was a kid. And by music junkie, a lot of that was being a guitar junkie. So I listened to, you know, the usual guys, the Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, Nuno Bettencourt. And then I did a full stop and I stopped listening to guitar players, period. Because after Nuno Bettencourt, I just went, okay, well, that, you know, I, that's gonna that's enough. I've heard enough, and now I'm just gonna go and be me. So we started, you know, we just continued making records. I stopped listening to rock guitar players. I stopped listening to rock music, in all honesty. Like when grunge came in, I mean, I think Alice in Chains was the last band that I was like, I love this band, and I was into them, and I was listening to their records. And now it just doesn't happen anymore. I'd rather pick up a guitar just any day. I'd rather go on my porch and play my acoustic. A song might fall out, you know. To sit around and listen to music, it just feels like I'm sitting on the sidelines of a hockey game with all my equipment on. You know what I mean? So I would rather make music than listen to it. That's all.
Yeah, but you are on social media. So what about social media? Do you, because you know now there's a lot of young cats that are very technical, and they just play like one minute videos in social media. Are you aware of it? You look at it, or you don't even?
I'm horrified by it. They're crazy good technically. There's insane. That's why I don't give a shit. I couldn't care less about guitar playing. I honestly couldn't, because it's a tiny little piece to me of what a musical thing is, whether it's a song or whether it's a musician. Wow, what's my phone doing? Or whether it's a musician, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very small piece, is the technical ability. And these guys that sit there in front of their, I mean, I do it. I post shit, but I post a solo of mine. You know what I mean? Or I post a solo, I post something, a piece of gear that I think is interesting. I just do, you know, again, I like social media and I hate it. But as far as all the musicians, great, good for everybody. Build your following, do your thing. People are making millions of dollars on social media. So all the power to them. You know, I don't want to spend my day sitting in front of a frigging computer. That's why I'm a musician, for God's sake. So I do as little of that shit as I can, but I still have to do it because I'm out there, right? And if I want to be out there and I want people to know I'm out there, especially I'm always releasing new music. I'm always, you know, it's a necessary evil. I don't love doing it, but you have to do it. So.
Yeah. Today musicians have to be like, you know, producers, like, you know, our own run our media, everything, our marketing and
Yeah.
social relations, everything. Yeah.
Exactly. It's so true. And I never signed up for that shit in the beginning. We didn't have to do that, you know.
We don't know
to do all that. There wasn't nothing like that was even available at the time. And it was kind of cool in a way because it really allowed musicians to focus on the music, you know. And I mean, you know, I think everything has advanced so much. Talent even has advanced so much. People's concept of songwriting, the people that write proper songs, proper formula songs that are accessible to people and people will like. The numbers are growing. Singers are better than ever. Guitar players are better than ever. Technically.
Yeah.
You know, technically. So it's still all about what's in here. That's all you got. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's why I never worry about that shit because I don't care how many notes anybody's playing. I don't care who it is. I hear too much. And my buddy said this. I love this quote. I can't even hear that fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm
That's true. Yeah. I feel the same, and I keep going backwards with the years. So because I had my period too, also listening to all Greg Howe and all these guys and
yeah.
but now I'm going back to the roots. And but I was thinking one thing. I was trying yesterday. I was looking on Spotify, and you don't have your albums in Spotify. Why is that?
Yes, I took them down actually. I did take them down. And you know what? Sometimes I don't even know why. The main reason I did is because I'm kind of hitting reset. I know I'm old to be hitting reset, but I'm really planning on focusing on my own career, my own thing. And I like some of the songs off those records. I don't like all the songs off those records. I like some of the production on those records. I don't like all the, I just want to put a new foot forward. And I mean, obviously, I'm starting out as a solo artist in the country world, not in the rock world. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a different thing. That being said, I'm probably going to put them back up and make them available once I get things going on. You know what I mean? Once people aren't, I don't want that to be the first thing people hear from me, to be totally honest, because it's like my first album was 2007, my second one was 2012. It's 2025, for God's sake. Like, you know, and it's all cool, but I wasn't that famous that it matters to most people. So
Yeah, but they're good. I was listening down on it today on the iPhone and with equipment and so I mean it's good. I like it. It's very good. So
thank you.
but,
Well, I mean, like I said, I plan on putting them back up eventually. I just didn't want people getting confused, country people getting confused that were coming to hear me for the first time. Goes, what's going on with this guy? You know?
I was thinking with all of that, I was thinking that this was one thing I was wanting to ask you because I really like another guitar player that I'm sure you will like too. This Dan Huff from the band Giant, his producer,
Of course,
and he just
he's
released.
my hero. Actually, the country
Yeah,
stuff
one of mine
he
too.
does. He's the roadmap, right? He's the way you wished it went.
Yeah. But he just released a new album, and it's been so many years that he doesn't release his own music. And I was gonna ask you the same. I was like, Dan has a lot of fans. That you have a lot of fans that we're waiting to release your albums, and it's like when that's gonna happen. So I'm really happy that you say that you're gonna focus on your career because I'm sure there's many more people you would think that is waiting for your albums
Oh, thanks, man. Well, I really appreciate that. Like I said, I know it's a very different genre of the country thing for sure, but I'm going to do all kinds of stuff. I'm going to do remakes of some of my old music. I have so many songs I want to record right now, and I have a full instrumental record basically done. I just have to kind of fix and mix and finish it up, and I'm trying to figure out how that fits into everything as well. So I'm going to start releasing songs from that as well soon to people and putting them all up on my Spotify page. So come find me on Spotify, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be a hell of what the instrumental album is also like country or is
No, it's not country. I don't know how to describe it really. It's not country. It's not as heavy as Harem Scareem.
Mhm.
It's just I don't know, man. It's melodic music, you know. I don't know. There's still songs, there's still melodies, there's still verses, pre-chorus, chorus, and then there's a solo in the middle of the solo. You know what I mean? It's the same way I've always kind of done my instrumentals, kind of like that. Maybe a little less aggressive, maybe a little more trippy and spacey, but I don't know. It's just kind of where I was at. I came off doing the run with Bubbles and the Shit Rockers, and I had about 6 months, and I just sat down, and I'd been playing country, and I'd been doing all kinds of different stuff, and I just was so inspired to play some rock, or not rock, but play some instrumental guitar, make some instrumental music because I haven't done it in years. I've never made an instrumental record because every time I get four ideas together, Harry comes in and we make a Harem Scareem record. He goes, "Oh, that'd be really good for a Harem Scareem." I'm like, "Fuck, okay, we'll do that then." You know. So finally, I think I have about 8 or 9 songs for the record. I'm thinking about doing vinyl. I'm considering all kinds of different things for it. So finally, I'll make a guitar record.
Good. And now that we just mentioned, I just mentioned Dan Huff. I remember I was watching some long ago the way Dan Huff talking about how he would record guitar that he used to play like very clean guitars at the same time with heavy distorted. And I realize in Harem Scarem there's also you have a lot of like distorted guitars mixed with much more cleaner guitars. So I would like you to know if you can ask me how is your point of view when you record guitars in terms of sounds, of mixing layers, how do you approach it?
Well, I mean, for records, I don't really concern myself. A lot of people, or some people, can really want to trim it down and make sure they can play it live. I'm not really into that. I mean, I just build a soundscape to me of what I'm looking for. I'm pretty basic. You know what I mean? Like my thought process is that it's all in your hands anyway. Your hands in your head. I like for the whole new record, I used a quad Cortex. That's it. My quad Cortex, one guitar. And I've been kind of doing it the same for years because Harem Scare'em, and it's not the way I do it in country, but it's the way I do it when I'm doing rock. I'll triple track the main rhythms, on each side 3 times.
Okay, yeah.
So I've got 6 tracks all together with different sounds, all playing exactly the same part, just to sonically build it up the way I want to. And then yes, there's always cleans that go along with those and just kind of ring off in the background, picking multiple picking parts. Then you just start to layer it on top of that. The song is written around the big main rhythm part usually, and then I fill it in with the ornamentation as we go.
And for the solos, you use quad Cortex too, or you're using
everything? That's the only thing I use. I didn't plug into an amp. I didn't mic anything. I used quad Cortex direct into my Apollo. That was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sounds great. I've never heard anything that sounds better, honestly. Like I would have done something else if I thought it sounded better, but I even have all their plugins too. I use all the Neural DSP plugins, and I didn't even use any of those because just something about the quad, the way it translates, the way it feels, and the way it sounds. It's just the best thing I've ever had.
Oh, well, I mean, it's opinions. I don't. I use Neuro plugins because when I record, I do reamping with I have like my amplifiers here in microphone, and I use a lot the Neuro plugins to record and then I reamp. But there's something that to play live with the digital stuff for me. There's something that I don't know. I feel it's some way is digital, so I prefer having if I have to go to the PA straight. I prefer like some kind of analog simulator, like like amplifier or things like that. I don't know, but a lot of people. But I've been using quad Cortex recently, playing a theater in a musical, like a Broadway show, and I had to do it. But I don't know. A lot of people. Steve Rothery also has a Cortex. He told me.
Man, so many people have them now. I mean, they really do sound like different to me than all the other modelers. I've had them, and no offense to anybody. I mean, I've had all of them. I've done. I've done the Line 6 stuff. I've not the Helix, mind you, but I've done all the Line 6 stuff. I started out with the Pod. I've been a direct guy my whole life because I'm a studio cat, right? Doesn't bother me. I don't care. I don't need an amp. I'm using in-ears, and I like my guitar sound on my in-ears with the quad Cortex, which is the first time ever, you know what I mean, where it actually translated, and I went, this is helping me, not stopping me, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like I said, I've done all that stuff. I've done the neural stuff. I've done the the Line 6 stuff, the fractal stuff. I had a Kemper, and I just kept going to something different because it just never landed completely for me until I got this. And everything about it, like the touch screen, how easy it is to use, and frankly, just the way it feels and sounds, I can't even compare it to the other ones.
Okay, and apart from you, because you work with our bands and singers and stuff, you also work more like in studio, like with other guys, or you also do gigging like as a session player with other bands.
Yeah, I do all that. I do most of it from my house. I mean, obviously with the technology, my producer friends send me tracks and I play on them, or I send when I'm producing stuff, I'll send stuff out to get somebody to play banjo on it, or bass or whatever I'm hiring people out to do. So that's pretty much how we work. There's a couple of projects where we'll go in the studio as a full band and record live. And even then, the last project I did like that, 2 guitar players, both sitting on the floor with quad Cortex. They just sound so good. It's hard to, it's hard to do better. It really is. And I don't even care what kind of gear you got. Like, it's really hard to make a better guitar sound than what's coming out of these things these days.
Well, at the end is what you say, the fingers. I mean, I was talking, I don't know, with someone but about it, but at the end, I think that every guitarist, it doesn't matter the equipment you use. At the end, you always end up EQing everything and making it sound like the sound you have in your head, and mostly get it, so.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's so true, man. And honestly, I can't be bothered. I don't care that much. I just want, as soon as it starts translating, as soon as I can do what I need to do, I'm done. Like, I'm good. I don't need to mess around with amps. I don't buy into any of the romantic shit about like, you know, oh, I gotta have this or I gotta have it. You know, well, that's, if you gotta have it that way, you gotta have it that way. But it doesn't make it better. You know, like I've never had more compliments on my rock guitar sound than I did on this tour with Harem Scarum in my entire life. Every night people were coming up to me going, oh my God, dude, the guitar sound out front was unbelievable. And I'm going, it's that direct into the PA. That's it.
Yeah, but it's you. I mean, it's your sound.
Well,
You're playing, you know. So,
I
so.
guess. I mean, but that's what I mean, right? Anybody, if your sound is in your hands, these things all sound 80% the same, right? It's just that little 10% that makes you feel different, and that is the magic to me. That's where you can be you better. You know what I mean? Like I used to feel the other modelers were kind of clunky, and I was playing into a wall all the time. You know? I don't know if you know what I mean, but with this thing, it's just like it's just smooth. There's some depth. It helps you. It actually sounds good. There's some nice sustain. Everything else felt like it was fighting all the time, you know? Like I said, not to shit talk gear. It's all great. What works for my hands might not work for someone else's hands.
That's for sure. And about guitars, do you have any? You have special guitars. You're romantic with your guitars. You have many of them. So how the?
Yeah, I've got a few. I don't have a crazy collection because I'm not that kind of person. Again, I'm not overly romantic about it. I've got my father's Martin. That he passed away a few years ago, and that is probably my most important guitar just because he owned it. It's an old D28, so that's important to me. I've got my white Les Paul Studio that I've been playing in Scarum forever, so that's kind of got some history to it. I play tellies when I'm playing country. They're all kind of just builds. They're not even real tellies with Evertunes on them, and I've got a couple Strats. I've got my Dobro. I've got a bunch of acoustic shit. I've got like 5 or 6 acoustics, few tellies. You know, like I said, nothing crazy. Got a few things I'm selling. I got an old Gretsch that I just never touch anymore. It'd be better in the hands of somebody, you know what I mean, that collects, I think, than me. So.
And you're planning, when you release your own music, are you planning to go on tour? And especially, would you think it's possible to come on tour to Europe, play, or not? Not really interested.
I can't imagine that. It would take something going, you know, horribly right. For something would have to go very, hey, look what's happening. All of a sudden, peace. No, you know, it's hard enough for Harem Scarum to come tour these days. You know what I mean? It's hard to put together something, and to put together something that I would be happy with would be difficult. I mean, I could potentially see me coming over, you know, and maybe doing a combination, like just whatever. I don't know what it would even be, like a guitar night, like a Pete night. I could play some acoustic stuff. I could play, maybe once my instrumental record comes out, I could play some of that stuff. I could maybe do a little clinic or a hang. But, you know, to put together a band and come play my country music, I'm gonna have 3 people there. You know, I don't think it's gonna be good. It's not gonna be a good look for me.
Who knows? You never know. But actually, like the music industry has changed a lot, like over the years. But I have the feeling that the Harem Scarum is a band that has like a loyal fans and like the same kind of. So I would like to talk a little bit about, did that change in the music industry, you think it has affected, or you have been lucky that you guys have like a loyal fan base that always gets you going? So,
well, the thing is, I mean, Harem Scarum because we never had an American release. Like, we were released all over the world, but America didn't release our bands. So that's the biggest separator between us and all the other bands that are around these days, and they're still out there playing bigger stadiums or playing whatever. We just never had a release in America. So that massive market never heard our music. So that being said, I think we're pretty friggin' lucky. You know what I mean? Like, we've done 16 albums, and we just finished our best probably European tour in 10. You know, it was short, but it was great. It was very well attended. People loved it. We're still connecting with our fans. The coolest thing is now we got parents bringing out their kids to our shows, and the kids are like, oh my God, my dad's been listening to you forever, and I love your band too. And, you know, so the truth is it's not very big, obviously, but our fans are very loyal, and they're into it. They're just into it. And I think as long as we keep delivering decent music, you know, and I mean, that's the only way we're going to make a record. Harry and I are never going to finish a record that's not going to be at least the quality that we're kind of, where we put the bar, right? We just won't do it. We'll just quit first. So if we don't have the ideas for a good record, we won't do it. But it's really all because of the fans. It really is. It's insane. We have such a cool fan base, and it's all over the world, which is so wild.
Mhm. And you think like probably Japanese is probably one of the best markets for you guys, or
You know what? I mean, it definitely used to be. We're not signed directly there anymore. We're signed to Frontiers now in Italy. So honestly, I haven't been paying that much attention to what's going on over there. It was definitely our best market, 100%. We were doing great there in the 90s. We would go over twice a year. I think I've been to Japan like 24, 25 times, literally. So it's kind of crazy. So yes, it was definitely our best market. But Europe's been hanging on, and we do great in Spain. We have great gigs when we come to Spain. We have great gigs when we go to Portugal. We have great time in the UK too. We did our first gig in London this year, which was fabulous. It's all what it is, man. We're not Bon Jovi, but we're still out there making music. And since it's just a chunk of what we do, it's perfect. Honestly.
yeah, no, and people love. I mean, the crowd loves your music. So I guess that basically the main income from Harem Scareem is from the live plays, right? Like, you still selling records, or just
Yeah, but that's not really.
that's not the real.
We don't really think of that as an income.
Well,
I
but
mean, they pay.
the vinyl is coming again. So I don't know if you notice that
What is coming again?
the
Sorry.
vinyl, the old vinyl.
Oh, vinyl. Yeah. We've been doing a few vinyl things lately. It's weird though when you're involved with a label. It's different if you're independent. If you're independent, it's all your money. If you're involved with a label, you have to pay for the things and the stuff. And yeah, it's not really. We don't do this to make millions of dollars. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? We do all right when we're out there, but how much money are you going to make playing 10 shows in Europe when you've got huge expenses and we got a giant tour bus we're touring around in this year and stuff, and touring with two other bands, and it's costly. So it's more about perpetuate. We all come home with a bit of money, but it's more about perpetuating the whole thing. Just getting out there to our fans, letting them know we're still alive. We made a record, so I guess we have to go support it.
Good. And I would like to talk a little bit about your work as a producer with other artists, because I read that you produce two singers that were in the Canadian Idol contest in TV and stuff. So I would like to know what kind of artists you mainly produce, if you do many different styles or more into.
Well, I mean, I could do rock, I could do country, and I could do pop, I could do those things. I don't really do a lot of it right now, to tell you the truth. I've been so focused on my own thing between Harem Scareem, working on my country solo stuff. I have a duo called Smoke and Ashes as well, which is also a country project. I'm playing with two different country acts right now, so it just hasn't been on my radar. It hasn't. I work with one guy named Quentin Blair, fantastic Canadian country artist. I'm continuing to work with him, but currently he's the only artist that I'm producing, and it's really just because I want to focus on my own stuff. I mean, if something great comes through the door, but I'm not chasing it down. I'm not going looking for work. I'm not going looking to produce artists. If they come to me and they're great and they want to do something, I'm always down to do something great. There's a band actually called the Commoners. Cool, really cool, like blues rock band from Toronto that I might actually start to work with as well. So.
Oh, nice. I don't know if you remember, but you recorded for a Spanish singer called Rafa
Oh
Martin.
my God! Of course, I love Rafa. I just saw him in Spain. We're buddies. We still.
Oh, I did a gig with him. I played with him once, playing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he sings great. I think
He's a great guy.
he released another CD also with Mike Landau and
Yeah.
Richard Thompson.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
great guy. We flew when we were kids. God, we were like 26, maybe 26 years old, and Rafa was signed to Sony, and they flew us to a vineyard studio in Italy, and we were there for a month almost making a record with him. It was incredible. Like,
Wow.
that's why we became real good friends, and it's just never stopped. I've worked with him a ton. I'm actually talking to Rafa, and I offered, if he wanted to, that I would produce a couple songs for him just to get him singing and
Yeah.
put some stuff out again for fun, because sometimes you make music for fun, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do. I have my own band. I have a band that's also like for fun. Yeah, I mean, you have to have your own projects, not losing like the hope and happiness of making music, because if you only work like a sideman, it gets burned.
Yep, burn you right out, man. And I feel I did that for a while. I was just playing guitar on so much country stuff and banjo, dobro, whatever, and I just got burned out. I got tired of it. It was like, this isn't. It's got nothing to do with me. I guess my ego is just too big. No, no, but truly, like not in that sense. But I just want to work on music that I care about the most, you know.
Yeah.
And if I'm spending every day just working on someone, I might as well have a day job.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I'd like to talk a little bit about your uh, how did you started playing guitar, and who are your teachers, and also if you still keep practicing, like, or have a practice routine, or just playing to maintain.
Oh no, geez. Well, I started when I was 8. I started when I was 8 years old. My mom bought me a guitar and forced me to take lessons because I didn't like sports. I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have a lot going on. I was a little loser at 8 years old. But anyway, so my mom got me into music, and I would sit there with my clock, and I would look at my clock for half an hour and practice every day because I hated it so much. And then in 1979, I went and saw Kiss. My parents took me to the Dynasty concert, and I changed my mind about everything. I went, that's what I want to do for a living. And that day, like, it was like a switch. I went home. I decided I was going to get to be a good guitar player. I started practicing a lot. I got in a band. I started playing with a friend of mine when we were probably 9, 10 years old. So we were making music pretty young. Yeah, and then I just really got into it, and I started practicing 8 hours a day. I would practice in the morning before high school. I would come home at lunch and practice for half an hour at lunch, and then I would practice for 5 hours at night or whatever. I was probably doing 8 hours a day back then in high school, and it's never really stopped. To tell you the truth, I practice all the time. It's all I want to do. If I'm awake, I just want to have a guitar on. So
But you practice in like, how is your practice routine? I mean, you just practice like improvising and just playing wherever, or you still get into transcribing solos or learning solos or
oh,
scales.
no, no, I haven't learned someone else's guitar solo other than the stuff that I have to go out and play live. You know what I mean? Like I haven't transcribed a guitar solo, or like I said, paid any attention to guitar playing in so long. I just do what I do. I follow. I learn. I try to spend time working on different styles. So, like, I've been really heavily working on bluegrass lately. There's an amazing guitar player named Trey Hensley. He's one of my favorite players, and I bought one of his courses online when I was starting out, and I just start to learn it. And then it's just like everything for me. Once I get in so deep,
Yeah.
once I kind of feel like I have it, that's it. I'm too lazy and I'm too focused on my own thing. You know what I mean? I go, okay, I get it now, and I'm just gonna go with it. And then you develop from there. And I really think that that's how you develop your own style. Like when I play country, I don't sound really like a country player. It's kind of like my rock got smashed together with my country, and now it's all mixed up. But it's all sort of the same thing. And I mean, in my humble opinion, I think the most important thing as a musician is to have your own voice, no matter what. And I think for me, I think the best way to do that is to not pay attention to what else is going on and not know how these guys do that crazy cool lick. I don't need to do that lick. I don't. It's not my lick. I don't care. It's really cool, but I'm not going to put the time in to do that. I'd rather play G, C, and D and write another song.
Yeah.
I get more out of that personally.